Hello. Today I am talking to you about how I manage vulnerability hangovers with warrior energy. And funnily enough, today I'm having a vulnerability hangover. Good morning. Well, you might not be watching this in the morning, but good morning to you anyway. This light is dreadful. I cannot be arsed with a ring light right now. Hello. So this morning, I woke up feeling a little bit wonky, I suppose. I just felt a little bit wonky. I snoozed my alarm, which I very rarely do because it makes me feel pants. It makes me feel really, really pants. Yesterday, I had an amazing day. A really, really powerful day. One day, the days that you have with with one-to-one clients or whatever you're doing and everything just feels like it's going perfectly. But it was quite an emotional day as well. And I had to record some podcasts for my podcast No Rest with a Vivid. And I had to record 2 mini podcasts and I had to record my 100th podcast episode. And halfway through one of the mini ones, which was intended, it ended up being about your why. Now in Project Warrior Boss, which opens its doors again in September, which feels so long away, feels so far away. But summer holidays will get in the way if I start it before then. So Project Warrior Boss, my January cohort, which is the second cohort, September will be my third. We spent 3 weeks on the why. Why do we do this? Why do we get up out of bed every day? And so I wanted to do a podcast episode on it. And during this podcast episode, I actually talk about my why. Now that episode is out, not this Thursday, next Thursday. So a week tomorrow. My most vulnerable episode to date. It was crazy vulnerable. And because of this meeting with one of my one-to-one clients, who I'm just so much respect for her, and also just such an honour and a privilege, such an honour and a privilege to be able to work with women who really have decided that's it. I want to transform from a warrior to a warrior. I want to have the power in myself, know the power in myself to get me where I want to be. And if you're listening to this right now, if you do worry a lot, I firmly believe, what is that? God's sake. That's me distracting. My ego distracting me from my good point. If you worry a lot, I firmly believe that all of that warrior energy, all of it can be transformed into warrior energy. And I am living proof this is possible. Not only am I a living proof that it is possible, but so are so many of the members inside the Vivid Club membership, as well as my one-to-one clients, as well as Project Warrior Boss. And I really believe that there are thousands, if not millions of women out there that I can change and support them to change from being a warrior to a warrior. I totally believe that. So this morning I woke up a bit wonky, and my first port of call for my warrior energy, and this is how I actually transforming this energy. I know I have to move it. When I wake up feeling a little bit wonky, usually my worrying starts. And I woke up, I was worrying about things. I've got some goals to achieve this week. There's certain stuff that I need to get done. I've got Project Warrior Boss tonight, and I started worrying. And these worries, when I write them down, feel so stupid. But while they're in my head, they matter. They're taking up energy. So my first thing I do is write. I talk about writing a lot. Morning pages is what I do, and it is from Junior Cameron. I think I've already mentioned this week in these lives. And I write 3 A4 pages. Now, in the process of writing the first page, I talk about shit, really. And I spoke about today, I've already done a live in the Vivid Club membership and touched on this, but I spoke about the fact that I was really sad that Paula Grady has passed away. For me, a Friday was watching Lily Savage when I was a kid, like I think, or a Saturday. It was before Lily Savage did Blankety Blank. But yeah, I just love Paul O'Grady. He's just such a kind, wonderful man. So that made me feel sad. So I wrote about that. Wrote about the fact that, about my day yesterday. Get to the book, then the second page was all about my goals and stuff. And then I was like, oh, I just cannot be bothered to write another page. But I always do, because it's in the third page that I work out the things that are making me feel not right. And in that page, I recognised that I was having a vulnerability hangover because of yesterday's incredibly vulnerable podcast episode that I recorded. So then I was like, right, now I know I've got a vulnerability hangover, because even though I've had so many of these, I will have a vulnerability hangover every time I'm vulnerable. I share my story, which is tough. And I'm not, like, your story of how you got to where you are. I don't go into great details about the trauma I've experienced because it's in the past and it can be re-triggering for people. So I do not share too much about that. But what I do share is that I've experienced trauma, and as a result of that, my brain does not work in the same way as potentially somebody who has experienced less trauma or had consistent caregivers, okay? So because of all of this mother and my experiences, my brain doesn't work in the same way. So I have to work harder, and I do believe there is other, like, that I will get to a point where I have to work less hard, but right now I have to work hard every day to be the version of me that you all see. And I'm not hiding anything. Like, if you become a member of the Vivid Club, I share quite a lot in there, and you'll see me be even more vulnerable. But being vulnerable is important to me because I needed someone to be vulnerable and share their story. Like, when I was running my own business, I wanted somebody who was a bit further ahead to go, you know what? I feel really shit some days. This is how I make myself better. But nobody did. So I had to figure it out. And it's not just about saying affirmations. Brilliant. Okay, I can say I am safe. I am powerful. I am kind and all of that stuff, which I'm not saying is shit, because affirmations are really powerful. But I can't get my mind in the right gear just by doing that. I just can't. Like, my brain is just not working that way. So what else can I do? When I'm procrastinating, what are the tools? And there were some people just like, put your phone away. Well, I procrastinate in other ways. It's not just my phone. I do a lot of other shit as well. So I share this because I needed someone who was like me, a little bit further ahead, who could tell me that it's going to be okay, that could tell me tools to get me where I wanted to be. And that's why I show up. And so, warrior energy, I this morning I wrote down, realised I've got a vulnerability hangover, realised that I'm going to have to work a little bit harder today. So I was at my local, where I go for a coffee and do my CEO work. As soon as I got in the car, I'm playing my warrior energy tool playlist. Now, this is the thing, when I'm having a vulnerability hangover, normally it's one of the first things I do, but it's like my brain forgets. So I have to be really conscious of, no, warrior energy. Even though I do this habit, I've been doing this habit for ages now, like consistently for say 3 years, and I will still forget to do it because I'm not consciously aware of my energy is low. Let's do this. Until I get to that thought process, it sometimes doesn't work. So this is why you have to be quite conscious. So I put my warrior energy playlist on. That started as soon as I came in the house. I was wearing a different outfit that just was not, the colours were just not bright enough. And that, again, like if I'm feeling wonky, I'll go and put something on that maybe the colours are just not how I want to dress usually. Again, wasn't aware of that signal this morning, and I was like, no, I need to go and wear pink, and then I need to put brighter lipstick on, add the colour, so then I'm feeling the joy from wearing colour. My brand colours, the lilac, pink and yellow, the reason why pink is in there is because it's my colour to wear when I feel, it's like my warrior energy colour. I put it on and I feel more energised. Oh, Becky, I have a vulnerability hangover because I recorded a very vulnerable podcast episode yesterday, like extremely vulnerable. As you are a member of the Vivi Club, you can go and watch the live I've just done in there, where I talk about it in a little bit more detail. But yeah, so that's that. So yeah, I changed my top, came down here, and straight away I wanted to voice note my best friend Bex, who also works as part of the team. And saying that, it's just Bex. This is like, I've got a massive team. It's Bex. So I was like, right, I'm going to voice note Bex. And I was like, no, I need to share this with the Vivi Club. So then I went into the membership. And I've already got messages from people going, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you shared that, because this is where you find the power in sharing your story. That is what shows people what is possible. So I did that. And then I listened to a couple more of my Warrior Energy tracks. You've Got the Love by Candy Staton is on there again. Sometimes I swap in and out of some songs, but there's always like the foundations. And the one that is always on my Warrior Energy playlist is This Is Me from The Greatest Showman, because she talks about being a warrior. I mean, that's what we all are. So I listened to that, and then I've come on here. Now but that is the thing, like, I'm going to have this vulnerability hangover for a little bit longer. I would imagine I'm going to be feeling like this until the evening. And what will happen, and because I haven't got any one-to-ones, that's going to make it go a little bit longer. But I've got Project Warrior Boss tonight, so I'm really, really excited about seeing the ladies tonight. We're doing like What Do You Want, and start breaking down their big goals and their plans. So I'm really excited about that. So today I wanted to share 5 ways that you can create your own warrior energy, and it's just so serendipitous. Is that a word? Like, just such a everything's fallen into the right place, where I've woken up with a vulnerability hangover and I need to really practice my warrior energy. Though I do it every day, it's got to be done. So one thing I'm going to do, once I've done this live, is going to have an early lunch. I know it's 11 o'clock, but I'm going to go and have an early lunch, watch EastEnders, and then I can be back on it. So, 5 ways that you can create, morning Sally, create your warrior energy. Number 1, drink water. I'm just going to get my water, because I cannot recommend enough. If you work from home, get a great big bottle. I've also got, I've left it in the house. I've also got a smaller bottle that I carry around in my bag. If you have a 2 litre bottle of water in front of you, with a straw, or just however you like drinking water, and you drink that every day, you will have more energy. Fact. So that's the first thing. Number 2, brain dump or write. And try and do that at some point during the day. Now, preferably, you can do it in the morning so that your brain is clear and you can sort of make an action plan from it. But your brain is for thinking, not remembering. And it carries a weight in your mind of everything that you want to achieve, or the things that you're thinking about, which is a drain of energy. Write it all down. If you need to, if you want to make a plan from that, fantastic. If you just want to dump, fantastic. But there's a therapeutic way of, like, from your brain to your hand in the writing. It does take a while for your hands to stop aching, because we're not used to handwriting, are we? But even though I use my hands all the time for the wire art, I've got to the point now where writing feels much easier, but it's so beneficial. Number 3, find the songs and play the songs that you love, that are your favourite songs. How happy do you feel when you hear your favourite song on the radio? So choose to play it for you. It is so powerful. I have a list that I play every day in the same order to get me to where I need to be within my head for working. It may be that, like today, I didn't do that first thing. Maybe I would have been even more energised right now if I had, but tomorrow I will be doing it. And, well, for the rest of the day, I'm going to start it again and listen to it today. Number 4, thinking about your warrior energy when you want to show up as the future version of yourself. So a lot of the time I think to myself, what would Claire in a year do right now? She would, probably I would be doing this. Well, that's what I've done this morning. I'll be like, well, future Claire will be wearing brighter colours, so I need to go and change. What a privilege, the fact that I can just nip upstairs and change my clothes when I'm at work. It's brilliant. Are you looking after the future version of yourself? You know, if you leave your workspace untidy, your future self tomorrow is going to have to tidy that up. So can you just do 5 minutes now so it's done? Putting the washing away. God, I've not looked after my future self doing that, but I'm doing a wardrobe. Anyway, you don't need to know about that, but I haven't done that this week because I'm heading into 2 weeks off. So I'm going to sort out all my wardrobe again. I will do it all the time. I love it. You know, making sure you drink water. That's a future version of yourself. Making sure you move. Listening to your favourite music. Planning your day. That time when you think, I haven't got enough time to plan, you are not being efficient with your time. Write down, plan your day. Even to, like yesterday with one of the Vivid Club members, we sat and we planned a day like to the minute. I was like, right, it's 1 o'clock. For the next 25 minutes, you're going to do these tasks. Then have a 5-minute break, Pomodoro technique. Do another 25 minutes. And by the end of the day, she felt really productive. So show up and do things for the future version of yourself, or how the future version of yourself would show up. Oh, number 5 is look after your future self. Did 2 in 1. But looking after your future self, being a prepared Paula, I've really stepped into that. And the other day, my husband was like, "Oh my God, you're really organised." I was like, "Yeah, prepared Paula. I'm a proper prepared Paula." So I don't leave things to the last minute anymore, which is crazy because I always have, but it just doesn't feel good. And that adrenaline feeling, I was working with one of my one-to-one clients on this. She was saying, I love leaving things to the last minute. You know, when I used to work, I would leave everything to the last minute. There was a buzz, there was a chaos, and I thrived off that. I said, yeah, you got addicted to the adrenaline, but having too much adrenaline in your system is not good. You've got to think about your adrenal glands. If you're low in, that means you might be low in magnesium, and therefore you may not be sleeping properly, etc., etc. So there's all this, and it made me feel more anxious. So you can feel more anxious if you're low on magnesium as well. And that might be because you're addicted to the adrenaline. Everyone's addicted to, you know, like adrenaline feels good. It's pumping in your, you know, if you love a roller coaster, if there's anything, well, I was the same. I loved the adrenaline. I loved the crisis of it all. But you can transform into being addicted or thriving off the dopamine that is being released when you tick things off the list and you're a prepared Paula. That's what I love now. I love coming to my to-do list. Look at that for yesterday. Green. And the 3 things there. Was that yesterday? No, that was last Thursday. Well, did well there. What's yesterday? Yeah, pretty much. Did all of it. And actually, these things up here were just the add-ons that I'm actually going to move on to today, and I've got the time to do it. That, to me, I get more of a buzz from doing that. I don't cross it out. I turn everything green. Another thing that helps my dopamine. And this side, look, time. I don't know if you can see that. 9 a.m, 10 a.m, 10 like I break it down. That makes me feel so good because when the time gets to like 11 o'clock and I'm like, right now, lunchtime, I'm like, bang, I've done that. I'm on schedule. Hit a dopamine. Thank you very much. I'm a prepared Paula. I feel good. Increases my warrior energy. Okay, that's it for me today because it's my lunchtime now. Early lunch. If you would like to work one-to-one with me, and I promise that I will help you massively transform from a worrier to a warrior, I have only 1 space left on the Boss Boost. I have 1 space for Amplify and Empower Mentorship. The Boss Boost is fantastic. Gives you a boost in the right direction. You get me in your phone for a whole month. You can choose up to 3 months of that package, and there's sort of like a discount if you book 3 months in one go. If you want something more intense, more powerful, something that's really that could transform your whole life forever, 6 months with me in your pocket all the time, 90-minute sessions every 2 weeks, and I hold your hand through all of it. But I hold your hand in a way that's going to support you to do it on your own. This is not about doing everything for you. That program is there for you to really establish everything. 6 months to find that magic in you, to empower you properly, and not think, oh, I need Claire. You don't need me. You might want me though. All right? You do not need to feel that you've got to have somebody in your corner forever in your business. But sometimes you want a little shove in the right direction and some support in the right way to make you the best version of yourself. So that's Amplifying Empowermentship. I have one client on that program at the moment, and she says I'm the best coach she's ever had. So I send her songs. I mean, and also to celebrate, this was in my stories, to celebrate all of the Vivid Club members and just to do some generosity and give some things away at a discount. I've got my 2 courses that are half price at the moment, and the links are on my stories, but I will put them in my bio at some point. But just message me if you can't find them. There is 2 courses there for half price. One is Making Friends with Your Imposter Syndrome, which is very impactful, and the other one is a short course on transforming from a worrier to a warrior, and they're all half price at the moment till the end of Friday. So treat yourself, why not? And don't forget, last thing, God, I've got so much news. If you haven't signed up for the Vivid Club Festival, 3 days of free training to help you to transform from a worrier to a warrior. That is on the 18th of April to the 20th. Sign up in the link in my bio. If you've got any questions about anything, send me a message, and you can book a chat with me if you want to too. All right, that's it. 11 o'clock on the dot. I'm a prepared Paula. Boom, boom. Okay, I hope you're all good. Have a productive day, and if you have any questions, let me know. Take care.